listening to, I say you are listening to, you are absolutely listening to the George Espenlaub Show, coming to you live from the Funny Farm. Now, with no further ado, here comes Georgie!
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so very, very, very much. Wow. Here it is. This is Wednesday, right? I have no clue. Is it Wednesday out there? They don't answer me. They just laugh at me. Hey, listen. We had the radio or the Funny Farm radio studio broadcasters and newscasters and photographers following me in here tonight. They had the sound features on the whole 9 yards. I was running late. First of all, I was stuck in the crowd trying to get through, and then I got to the main intersection there, and it was like playing Frogger trying to get across the road to the main gates here at the Funny Farm. But nonetheless, I made it. And then I was supposed to meet Charlie. That was the whole thing. I was supposed to meet Charlie, but I was running late, and Charlie already left and came into the sound room here at the Funny Farm radio studio. So I had to hurry up and get there and then get through the crowd here inside the studio. Finally, I made it through that screeching door over there. So if you was wondering what that was all about, that was our news broadcasters, photographers, because you see, we're all self-sustained here at the Funny Farm. We've got the whole 9 yards. But nonetheless, wow. I thank you for tuning into the George Espenlaub Show tonight. And if you're down the street, around the corner, across America, or around this great big world, thank you for tuning in. This show is live from the Funny Farm. Excuse me. Live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. We don't know where it's at. We don't care where it is. We're not interested in knowing. We just live here. And we like it here. And I invite you to come into our world. This is a place where fantasy and reality are intertwined. And we don't know the difference. So if you by chance should come in and you can tell the difference between reality and fantasy, you please let us know. We won't care anyhow, you know what I'm saying? But you can let us know nonetheless. There's been a lot of people come to the Funny Farm. Few have left. They have stayed here for years. Yes, we've been broadcasting this menagerie for a number of years. And yes, when I say down the street, around the corner, across America, and around the world, I mean that. There are people that listen down the street, around the corner, across America, and yes, indeedy, around the world to the George Espenlaub Show. Oh, my, my, my. Every now and then we get serious on this show. Most of the time we are, but look, when we let our hair down, me talking about hair, right? I don't even have much left anymore. But anyhow, when other people around here lets their hair down and loosens up, oh, I mean, things can get really out of control in a heartbeat around here. But listen, I'm going to tell you now, in just a few minutes, we are going to bring our guest on. You are going to listen to the audio portion of the live stream show that we did on Friday night with Jane Jenkins Herlong, a Hall of Fame speaker. She is a comedian. I mean, she will make you laugh, but yet she has humor in the truest sense of the word, because she takes real life happenings, real life things, and makes them humorous, but at the same time, she is also serious. And so you will be listening to Jane, and the ironic part of it is this. Before Jane came on to our live stream on Friday night, she had some technical difficulties. Well, time was running out, and she couldn't get into the lobby of the studio, the broadcast studio, by the way of her device. We had to go live. Time was ticking. And when the 0 hour hit, we went live. And you'll be able to hear everything that took place until we brightened her up and got her into the studio. And you'll hear the whole 9 yards of what happens when you go live and when you have those technical difficulties. If you would like to see the live stream that we have done with Jane last Friday night, go to the George Espenlaub Show on Facebook, the George Espenlaub Show, and there you can see the live stream. I think right now we've had over 600 and whatever, so many views. Go on there and you can watch it for yourself. We bring the audio portion up for the benefit of the people that are listening on Spotify and iHeartRadio and CastBox and iTunes, Dooflicky, whatever you call it, and Google what you call it, thingamajig. And stop your laughing because it's not funny. And besides, they're Espenlaub words, and I can use them. Thank you very, very much. But anyhow, do that. And just a few minutes, we will be playing the audio portion of that. It was a fantastic show, and I think you'll enjoy it. And then, immediately after our show tonight, we're running a brand new program. It's entitled Daren Streblow Comedy Show. So when we get off of here, don't go away because the next program will be following ours. Daren Streblow Comedy Hour. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Maybe it's Streblow. Daren Streblow Comedy Show. It will follow us right after this. So don't go away. Just stay tuned in. But first of all, this is what we want to do. As we do most nights. Excuse me. I got a frog in my throat. I could have used that frogger when I was trying to cross that highway because I could have thrown him out first to see what happened. I'm only kidding. Anyhow, we want you because Miss Ernestine is out there on the dance floor. She's got people loosened up. She is ready to go. So without any further ado, as Charlie says, we're going to kick it off with some of this just to get you up out of your chair so you can tap your foot, snap your fingers, bob your head, and shake your booty.
Don't get to hold you, so I just had to write this letter, 'cause girl, you're always on my mind. Nothing I have can make you better. Don't scare you off. Don't mean to be pushy about it. I don't usually say this much. I just had to tell you in all honesty. 'Cause every day when I see your face, I find myself dreaming about how it would be to feel your breath and hold your hand close to my heart.
ladies and gentlemen. Something oh so right. Oh, my. Hey, I want to say this before we go further. Tomorrow, I will be doing a live stream, and what I'm going to be doing is promoting the show for Friday night. We have a fantastic guest on Friday night. Now, I'm going to be doing a live stream, and we'll be putting pictures up and articles and so on and so forth. Because on Friday night, a man by the name of Chris Bird will be with us. He will be with us on the radio. Due to some problems, I'll let it go at that. Due to some problems, Chris has asked that we go strictly on the radio. And that is exactly what we're going to do. This man, who is originally, he was born and raised in England. This man is a firearms expert. He has been dealing with firearms his entire life. And he is going to sit down with us by the way of radio, and he is going to be sharing with us some vital things that we need to know as we live and walk in this day and age. You don't want to miss it. That's Friday night at 8 p.m. right here on the radio show, live on the George Espenlaub Show. So, tomorrow we'll be doing a live stream, and we'll be explaining all about Chris. We'll be telling you all about Chris. And then on Friday night, he will be live here on the George Espenlaub Show. And we will have a wonderful, thrilling, hard-hitting show on Friday night.
When the night comes crawling and I'm all alone, I head for the highway, baby, to please my restless bones, restless bones. I should try harder to please you. I'm not the man I wanna be, yeah. But my weak soul is letting me down. Babe, don't be so hard on me. Don't be so hard. Don't be so hard. Can I stay in the darkness? I am drawn to the light. I wanna rest in the arms of an angel and be safe and warm tonight. Are you still mad at me, baby? Or don't you care anymore? Oh, I know you're so much better than me. But let's not count the score. Let's not count the score. Baby, the only thing that matters is that my love for you never dies. And one thing you can be sure of, honey, you know I'm not telling lies. I'm not telling lies. No, I never lied to you, baby girl. Can I stay in the darkness? I am drawn to the light. I wanna rest in the arms of an angel and be safe and warm tonight. I wanna be safe and warm, baby. Don't you go, yeah.
in my milk for extra energy. Bosco gives me iron and sunshine vitamin D. Oh, I love Bosco. That's the drink for me.
And that's the drink for me. Oh, anyhow. Wow. Hey, listen, we are going to start the audio portion of the live stream we did Friday night with Jane Jenkins Herlong. You are going to enjoy this lady. So, as my friend Charlie, he runs the board here. He's a writer here. He does a whole lot of things here at the Funny Farm. But as my friend Charlie always says, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, this is the audio portion of our live stream last Friday night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen. I'm chuckling because Murphy has visited us, or Murphy has visited Jane down there in South Carolina, and we are in the process. Now, listen, we are live, and you get to see what's going on my end, and you'll probably be able to hear Jane out there. But we wanted to start the show, and there's Cassandra. Oh, Cassandra's so faithful. I mean, she is just always supportive, so supportive. Hi, Cassandra. It's good to have you.
Hi, Cassandra.
Jane said, hi, Cassandra. She's got some technical difficulties, and it's never happened before. But then again, Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. Cassandra said hi, Jane.
Bless your heart, Cassandra.
My goodness. Here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to put our old buddy to work real quick. He only works 30 seconds a show. But we're going to bring Dude on. And Jane, when we get you lit up and in the studio, I'll show you what Dude looks like. Or you can probably see, right? Didn't you say you can see us?
Yeah.
Okay. Here comes Dude. That was Dude.
Awesome.
He only works 30 seconds a show, but he earns his keep here at the Funny Farm. Okay, I see the little box down there in the lobby. It says device is not connected. I will put this up here.
What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to unplug this Logitech and see if it just won't pick up. Try restarting your browser. Do not tell me that.
Someday, Jane, I'm going to do a whole show on all my bloops and all my blops.
Be a good one.
All my bloops and all my blops over the years that I've done on radio, and since we started live stream.
That's the truth.
Yeah, that ought to be quite interesting. Because listen,
I'm trying to enter in the studio again, but I still can't.
Yeah, now we got two of your boxes up.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Well, at least you can hear me.
Yeah. I could
unplug my little camera.
Yeah, can you perhaps use your camera on your computer, just the regular camera?
Yeah, that's what I just did. You need to connect your mini cam if you want to be added to the stream. All right. Going back to connected. All right.
And ladies and gentlemen, you are watching live.
You are watching live technical difficulties.
Yes, as we are. When you hear somebody say we are having technical difficulties beyond our control, you're getting to see it. You're absolutely getting to see it. Jane, not to worry. Listen, if anybody can blow anything up, push wrong buttons, go the opposite direction from what you're supposed to be going, it's Espenlaub.
Well, my dear, I'm so sorry. I checked all of this out on my little Zoom. All was well. And I don't get it.
Do you by chance, well, I guess so, because I'm talking to you on the telephone. Try your telephone, Jane.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to mute it?
No. Those two little boxes we got here in the studio, step completely out of the studio with your computer. And,
so leave the studio.
Yeah, and then come back in with your telephone. If you need the link to get in, I'll send it to you by way of messenger.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay.
Let me do that.
Okay. I'm gonna send you the link unless you got it on your email, right?
Yeah, I've got it on my email. I'll just try that.
Okay, so get rid of these two boxes down here. Leave the studio twice. One person leaving the building twice. That's pretty cool.
Okay, here we go.
There's one.
Okay.
Now, leave the studio with the other one.
All right. Is that way down at the bottom?
Yeah.
All right, minimize it. Okay.
Here, I'll
try it on my phone.
I'll kick you from the studio on this.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we both apologize. Jane and I both. Listen, we're going to have a fantastic show. We'll bring her back on. She can use her phone, as many people do when we do live streaming, and we'll be good to go. Listen, if it can happen, if anything bad can happen, that's Murphy's Law. It will happen. And tonight, it has happened. But hang in there with us. Hang in there with us. Let me say hello to Cassandra again. Hi, Cassandra. We're going to get this thing right. We will not be defeated. We will not. Now, listen, to you that are watching, come on in. Come on in. I guess you have to do something to come on in, but I've never been on that end. But come on in, leave your comments, ask questions. If Jane can get her telephone up and running, we will we'll be good to go. And because listen, this lady is simply delightful. She will make you laugh. She knows what she's talking about. She's been doing this thing for quite some time. So come on in. Don't be afraid. I get scared in here all by myself. I don't like to be in here by myself. I like to have other people. Is Mrs. Espenlaub watching by any chance? Or is she occupied with something else? She's usually somewhere around the broadcast. If she's listening, come on in here with us, Mrs. Espenlaub, my bride of 51 years. While we're waiting for Jane to get hooked up here, let me share this with you. Monday night, we are going to have Ivor Davis with us. If you watched any of the other broadcasts, I think there she is. There. Oh, dude, we don't want you. I hit the wrong button. Let's bring her up here. Hi, Jane.
Hey. Now let me go to the next door restaurant and get a pina colada.
All righty. Whatever you might need. Hot diggity dog. You're
Yeah,
in?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, can I turn this sideways or that's not gonna work? Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Is it working?
Yeah.
I want you to see my outfit.
All righty.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
I could hear you just fine.
Good.
What's the lady said? You be blinging, or is that how they say it nowadays? Or
Yeah. That's the truth.
I'm just repeating what I hear the ladies around here says. Cassandra said, "There's Jane." There she is.
God bless you, Cassandra.
Listen, that was it was probably nerve-wracking on your end, but yet at the same time, I like real stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, it got real.
It got real. I like to make fun of myself, and I know you are a lady of humor, and we can poke fun at just about anything we do in life. I know I'm always poking fun at Espenlaub because he can really pull some doozies. But you're here, and we are so glad that you're here. Oh my goodness gracious!
Thank you.
We've got some banners that we'll put up, such things like one website that you have, and then we will put up your YouTube channel, so people can go there. What else I got here? I know I got something else. What else I got here? What's this down here? Oh, that's YouTube. Okay, that's your website. And then, of course, we have your books.
Yeah, those are the books.
Yep. And as we go along, we'll get you to explain where people can get those books, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have something like this scrolling across the bottom where people can get a hold of you with all those good things. And then we've got this running. That's where they can get your books, I suppose, right?
Yeah, that's so nice. Thank you,
cool?
George. Yeah, I can see it now. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So, let me shut this down for a second. Put the right button. There we go. So, Jane, now that you're finally here, tell us where you came from and what you did when you was a youngster, and then as you progressed and moved up.
I'm from Johns Island, which is south of Charleston, and my daddy was a tomato farmer. So I spent a lot of time walking through the soybean and tomato rows with my Labrador retriever, having a ball, and dreaming big, just thinking as I could do. I had a steep imagination. So that just has served me well. Not a student. I struggled in elementary school. My parents actually put me in the very lowest of the sections. But, God is good. And my dreams started unfolding because I just refused to give up. And I just decided to try to embrace all the qualities that successful people embrace. And you challenge yourself. You live a good, clean life. I call it, George, doing the hokey pokey. Because if you put your right foot in, which is doing the right thing, and you shake off the stuff that's going to pull you down and you turn it around, you can learn great lessons. And then, of course, the humor is huge. You have to be able to laugh at you.
Right.
So that's kind of how my philosophy is. I have heard the word no all my life. And I decided, you know what? Why not make no next? And why not bitter? Because when you have that I in the word bitter, you know it's just all about you. So that was kind of a benchmark for me. And I had good parents. That doesn't mean they were perfect, but they did the best they could with the knowledge they had. We've had family issues. My brother struggles with drug addiction to this day. Sad. But, you know, you can choose your choices, but you can't choose your consequences. So my tagline is sweet tea wisdom and Southern fried humor. So when I speak to people, I love the laughter, but I feel like I'm cheating people if I don't give them some kind of takeaway to be a little bit better than they were, maybe read my book or before they heard me speak somewhere. That's it in a nutshell.
So you ran between the potato rows and the tomato rows and and had yourself a ball. What?
I did. And then I went through the Miss America system, which was a great learning opportunity for me. I mean, it was a game changer, because Miss America challenges you to be physically fit, which is, it challenges you to communicate extremely well and to have a sense of style, which used to be called evening gown, develop your talent. And really, if you think about it, George, those are the 4 things that make people successful, all 4 of those things. So program, and sadly it's really gone to the wayside, taught all that, and it's helped a lot of women be better and strive for the best. I tell everybody, Miss America, the whole experience was everything I thought I could become, but I wasn't. But I knew I could become. So that's a huge perk to know.
That's the key phrase.
Right.
Know you can become. I put
and don't give up.
Right. I put the clip up of on our show page. It was like 9 minutes. I think I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And it had different phases, different things that you were saying. One of the things that struck me, I found quite interesting, was you said you wasn't the best student. You had these dreams, and you wanted to go to college.
I did.
But nobody was really reaching out and saying, Jane, come to our school or anything like that, right?
No. Well, I'll have to give a little shout out to Clemson. Of course, they're playing for the national championship on Monday night. But because my family all were involved in agriculture, that was one place I really wanted to go. But that was way too big they didn't accept me. Let's get back to basics here. So I couldn't have gone. But one little small Methodist women's college did. And that was a beautiful experience for me because I learned leadership and I excelled there. And I'm so proud. And when I look back, and so, I feel so blessed that experience came into my life. And I did well there. I learned more about learning because I was diagnosed as being dyslexic. I got a little tape player, George, and I put it on the front row of the class. And I'm an audio learner. I didn't know anything about learning disabilities, but I had that little cassette and I would listen to it over and over again. And that's how I learned. And so all of these things that, like my good friend Willie Jolly, who's a wonderful speaker, says that a setback is actually a setup for a comeback. So those setbacks can be comebacks if we look at it like that.
I was impressed when you said they wanted to interview you, the school. They wanted to interview you, and you wanted them to know what was inside of you. I guess I'm paraphrasing if I'm making any sense at all.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I said.
What
you don't know what's inside of somebody. You do not know that sheer willpower to make it work. Nobody sees that. And sometimes your inside has to catch up with your outside. So it has to catch up, but you just keep still striving for excellence.
When they interviewed you, from what I gathered in that little clip, you must have really stirred, upset, turned upside down, impressed one or all those things, the person that was interviewing you.
Oh, I felt sorry for him after I got through with him. I let him have it in a nice way. I told somebody, I said, by the time I got through with him, he was somewhere in the fiber of the carpet.
But
yes,
this was a do or die situation for you, right? So I mean,
oh gosh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Just throw it all out there and go for it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, my daddy went to the 10th grade. That was it. And my brother went to college for 6 weeks, and you would have thought he went to Harvard and graduated with honors. He would just, yay, you know. And so I was so proud. And then I was scared to death because I thought, can I do this? But, you know, God was good. I'm telling you, I just felt like I had just the courage. And, you know, sometimes you do it afraid. One of my favorite people to listen to is Joyce Meyer. And she always says, do it afraid, man, do it afraid. Every great thing accomplished is done not in fear. Fear can paralyze you.
Oh, yeah.
But do it afraid. Why not? So don't let things like that bother you. I mean, today I had to be brave, in my opinion. I was at a studio in Greenville. I'm a singer, and I had to pantomime 2 of my songs and read from my book and get videotaped. And, you know, that was different for me. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do it, whatever. And that's kind of what you have to tell yourself. Just do it.
How many, of course, we have no idea knowing, Jane, but there are probably countless millions of people that don't take that step to go toward their dream because of fear. And like you said, it paralyzes you. Do you agree with that?
Completely. It is no telling the greatness that is not discovered because the fear wins. On the cusp of the greatness happening. I mean, I'm sitting right here in my husband's, he's with New York Life, our daughter, her desk is right in front of me. And I can tell you that she has had to fight the fear of being so young and entering into this financial services business. And right before you and I went on or off or whatever we did, George, she called me and said, Mama, I won 2 awards today. And I kept telling her, Caroline, just stick to it. Just keep working. And I can tell, it's weird how this works, how when you get these small victories, they start adding up and it changes your entire view. I was listening to her the other day, and she's so confident in what she's doing now. And because she cares about people wanting them to make good decisions financially. And it comes through, but now she's had success, and that just adds to her arsenal to be passionate about it.
That phrase that you said, there are so many people that don't discover, let's call it, their greatness. I've got 11 grandkids. The oldest is going to be 30 in March. The youngest is 5. So I've got this whole long range, boys and girls. But I watch young people. I talk to a lot of young people. And I listen to a lot of young people, and I think they don't know their potential. I'll ask them, what's your goal? What's your passion? What's your heartbeat? What is it that you want to reach out and get a hold of? Unfortunately, I hear too many things like, "Oh, nothing." Uh, that
Mm-hmm.
makes me sad. Uh, or are you interested in this? Nah. How about this?
Mm-hmm.
No. Uh, and when you said that there's so many people that they won't step up because of fear, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't find the road to greatness, to whatever they want to achieve. Uh, I started thinking about all the young people and older folks. I wonder, and we've all heard it, Jane. I don't want to be sitting in my rocking chair, rocking back
Mm-hmm.
and forth, saying, "Oh, I wished I would have done this. Or I wished I would have done this." When you are on your speaking tours, you come across people from all walks of life and all ages, right?
Right.
And you probably run across people by the multitude that have always wanted to do, have always wanted to take that step, but because of that, those, and these, they didn't. What's some of the things that you encounter when you're speaking?
So many people say to me that, oh my gosh, I'm going to write that book now. I'm going to do it. Or I love to tell, sometimes I say this, tell the story about my Aunt Naomi Herlong, that who would think that baking a caramel cake could get you anywhere in life? And I really need to write about this in my book. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because she could make a fabulous cake, and she entered, this was a long time ago, she entered the Grange contest, the old country farm Grange, and she won a prize. She won a building, and to this day, that little Grange building that was built and given to our little Harmony community 5 minutes from where I'm sitting is our church fellowship hall. So don't think any talent could not be used for good. Even baking a cake got us a fellowship hall. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is cool. How many
Yeah.
how many times do you hear people, like you just said, "I'm going to write that book," or "I'm going to do this," or "I'm going to do that"? What is the advice that you?
You know, that's a good question. I get it a lot. Every time I speak, somebody says, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to let something hold me back, or somebody tell me, oh, you aren't good. And I'm not going to listen to that. So I hear it, and I just wonder how many people are thinking it and do it. But the first step of accomplishing a goal is to say it. You got to say it
Right.
and be accountable that you actually going to do this, and have an accountability partner. So thinking it's one thing, saying it's another. If you really want to get it done, you have an accountability partner that says, how you coming with that project?
Uh-huh.
But I do hear it a lot, but I don't know how many people actually go through it. I do have a friend that, when I was speaking at a Christian writers conference, and she has written 2 books, and um, she gives me a lot of credit, bless her heart, for getting her off the I want to I did. And so you never know how many people actually accomplished. I hope take advantage of just thinking and moving. I hope so.
There's my good friend Derek Davis out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He said, "Just do it." Heard. So
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, when I was reading, my wife and I was talking about this afternoon, and I was reading. It's been a long time ago. I read something along these lines. A man wrote his manuscript, and he put it in his drawer, and he had planned on getting it published. And then he had life, this, that, those, and these, but the manuscript still stayed inside the desk drawer. And he would say so many times,
Hmm.
"I'm going to get that manuscript. One day, the man passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And inside that desk drawer, his wife found the manuscript. And it went along the lines that she said, if he would have only done what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it, this would have been done. I thought, that's a lesson for all of us, isn't it?
Completely. Completely. Well, one of the greatest pieces of work, and I hate that it's been very tainted, and I guess it's just the times we live in, but it's Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind.
Hmm.
It was discovered in her desk drawer after she passed away, and it became, a classic. And so same kind of situation. Get the thing out of the desk, get it from your head to the paper, because George, there will come a time, and we don't know what our timeline is. The Bible tells us it's appointed once under man to be born and once to die. We don't know what our expiration date is. So you better take advantage of every day. So funny, I have a friend that called me, I swear I'm dead. I said, what you talking about? She said, I woke up, I didn't hurt. Nothing hurt. I think I'm dead. I said, all right, whatever. But the older I get, the more there's some truth in that, let me tell you.
I like what you said, Jane.
So,
Go ahead.
I was just saying, a lot of times people talk about time management, but my good friend, Dr. Nito Kubain, who's president of High Point University, it's energy management, man. It's energy management, because our energy levels can get so low and not what they use.
You said that it's not enough to think it. We have to speak it.
Yeah.
I agree 100% with that, because when you tell someone that you're going to do such and such a thing, or I'm going to start that such and such project, they hear it with their ears. And like you said, they can come back and say, well, how are you doing with that? How you doing? Do you think a lot of people, and I'm sure they are, they think, but they're so afraid to speak it?
Completely. Yeah. And they're just robbing themselves of their talents. And I'll tell you another thing, talent begets talent. When you start working on something, one thing, I mean, when I started out, I was, sang in churches, recorded ready for this, a cassette. And as I would sing in churches, and people would say to me, oh, that was, I like that story. I said, what story? You told a story. And I went, oh. So I thought, my gosh, I'm getting people wanting that on tape. And then people were saying, oh, that was funny, the way you said that. And I went, oh. So talent begets talent. So, the singing led to the speaking, led to the comedy, led to the parodies, led to Sirius XM, led to the books, And I mean, I got an F in writing in college. And I was asked by my college to speak at convocation. I don't even know what it was. I had to look it up in the dictionary. And right in the middle of the old Methodist church in Columbia was the professor that gave me that big old fat F. And I had the privilege of giving him the book. Oh, thank you, Dr. Broom. And he's a great guy. He challenged me. Now, had I gotten an A, would I have written a book? I don't know. But it was fun to prove people wrong. I'll tell you that. My first little book called Bare Feet to High Heels.
Speaking of books, let's put these up here. There it is.
Yeah, there they are.
Barefoot to High Heels. What is it? What Tata
Yep.
teach us?
Yeah, honey, that's women's anatomy, tatas.
Okay.
Let me explain that one. My sister, sorry, George, don't you go blushing on me.
I'm behind the
my sister. Yeah, you're behind I can't see you. But my sister had breast cancer, and she survived it. She had an amazing attitude. And I wrote that, and she did pass away right after my mother died. And that was a book written in her memory, and it's about how our anatomy is used in an analogy. it's pretty clever. I'm not saying so myself. I got a review on Amazon. Somebody said this book is worthless. And then another reviewer said, this book is brilliant. And I went, something's wrong with both of y'all, that's for sure. But that was, and I raised money for breast cancer through that. And then the third one is Bury Me With My Pearls, and that's dedicated to my mother. We were very close. But that book led to the big kahuna, Rhinestones on My Flip Flops, which is Hachette Publishing out of New York, which was a real kick in the pants to be on bookshelves in Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, and all over. But on my website, you can purchase those. In the Rhinestone book, you can buy it from Walmart, Target. It's been pretty cool to see my book on the shelf. Like, that's my book, pinch.
There is the website making its way across the screen, janeherlong.com/shop. And then you can get it, like she said, here, there, everywhere. Wow, all those books. Go.
Yeah, I'm working on a new one. You might not appreciate this, but I tell you what, this is funny. It's called Sweet Tea Secrets from the Deep Fried South. Well, you might not like the subtitle. I don't want to offend anybody from the South, but it's not necessarily, it's just funny. The subtitle is Cutting Through the Cultural Kudzu.
I like that.
Yeah, it's all how we've been rebranded, reprimanded, blah 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 blah, and I get back to the bone marrow of the South, right. And it's funny. It's very funny. It gets funnier every day.
Cassandra said, are these books on Kindle?
Yes, they are. I will tell you the ones that are on Kindle are Rhinestones and Pearls.
Rhinestones and
Kindle. But, you might like Audible because I read it and I like to throw accents around. I copy all my Yankee friends and I do a good job talking Yankee. I can do that. And so I like dialects.
Give me a good Yankee sound.
Oh, how are you? I'm from New York.
Okay. All right. Got another one?
Love it, living in the middle of the state of South Carolina. And then I speak Gullah. Now, I don't want anybody to think I'm being weird about the dialect, but they teach it at Harvard now. And my daddy had a tractor driver that we loved. His name was Lab, and he was holding our male cat, going all the way to the vet to get neutered. The whole way in the truck, Lab kept stroking that male cat, going, "Great God, Kidney, I'm so glad I ain't you." I've got a ton of Gullah stories, and I love them. And I speak Gullah. I grew up with it, and I respect the folks. My granddaddy spoke it, so it's not a cultural thing. Goompaw's my granddaddy. He spoke it fluently. Said vegetables in his garden, and great God. So it's funny stuff. I'll tell you another funny story. Daddy came in and he said, "Goodness, Lewis put a real cussing on me today." He said, "Mr. Benjamin, you made me so mad when you shut your eye for the last time. I'm going to tell them people to bury you up under 8 feet deep. That way when Gabriel blow the horn, you be the last one up."
Oh, wow. That, when you stop and think about that's bad. I mean, it's good what you said, but I mean, burying him that.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, so he's the last.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Ain't no 6 feet. It's 8 feet. 8 feet. But Gullah, no, nobody wants that. But Gullah is a combination of all dialects coming together with some Sea Island influence. It's basically Creole, and you smash it together. This is what this instructor from Harvard, it was in the Harvard, and I think that's about the coolest I've ever heard. Smashed together. I like that.
Oh my goodness gracious! When we were talking about people might think it, but they won't speak it. We talked about fear. What are some of the other things? Do you think that fear is like the first? How do I want to say it? Do you think that fear is the number one uh, obstruction that most people face?
Oh, I think fear can be debilitating, paralyzing. Zig Ziglar, we all love Zig. He was a member of our association. He said fear is false evidence appearing real.
Ah,
False evidence. Boy, that stuck with me. And 90% of all of our fears are totally unfounded. So,
absolutely.
and fear and faith cannot coexist. It's like oil and water.
Several programs ago, I forget which one it was, but we got in on a conversation about something that led to David and Goliath. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the youngster, he was there on an errand from his father, taking stuff to his big brothers there in the Israeli army. And when he got there, they're all laid out, crouched down, hunkered, uh, cowering away because this big galoot out there, he's out there running his face. Uh, they were paralyzed by fear. Uh,
Yeah.
he only wanted one person to come out and whoop him or fight with him, and none of them would go. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so that fear. Say what Zig Ziglar said again. I like that.
Yeah, it's false evidence appearing real.
False evidence appearing real.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma.
I love that story about David and Goliath. That's what I love. Bible stories. Of course, Jesus spoke in parables too, and there's a powerful analogies that still today. I'm a storyteller, but the number one storyteller ever was Jesus Christ. He was a great storyteller.
Outside of fear, of course, fear is like the nucleus of the web. It's the center, and because of
Mm-hmm.
that fear, then everything else is branching off of that. I How
Mm-hmm.
many times do you meet people? You meet people that uh, think it, won't speak it, paralyzed by fear. But then on the other hand, you meet people that said, "Hey, I heard what you said X weeks ago, months ago, even years ago, and I did it." What are some of those success stories?
I started out speaking in schools way back after my year as Miss South Carolina. And my favorite thing to do, I had a program called How to Be a VIP. And I said, you got to have vision, you got to have goals, you got to have initiative, and that's making it happen. And you have to balance it all with a perspective. And I cannot tell you, even to this day, I have people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, you spoke to my third grade class way back in the mid 90s." And I love that. And I remember grades improved. And so I hear all of this. So hopefully, for whatever story I don't hear, there are lots of stories that I may never know. And if I can just make a difference in someone's life, that means a lot to me. And I've had a lot of people call me and talk with me. And then you can't keep rehearsing the same old thing. It's like the wheel of misfortune. Get off the wheel and do something about it. You
Yeah,
know, keep blaming your parents. If you're an adult, get over it and get over it fast. You can't
right.
keep blaming this circumstance. And I've heard it said you might have a bad beginning, but you could have a fabulous finish. So after a while, I mean, one of my books addresses this. I call it being a woman of wisdom, a wow woman. Men need to be Mo's, men of wisdom. And there comes a time when you got to step up to the plate and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not going to let this defeat me. I'm going to defeat it, and I'm going to be better. And I wrote a chapter about that the other day in my book. It's a little bit edgy, but and I highlighted women in my flip-flop books. Like, look at Esther. She was beautiful, went to a spa for a year, and she stood before the king knowing she could get her head cut off.
Hmm.
But she was brave and bold and beautiful. So I call her fearless and fabulous Esther. Then you have people that make stupid mistakes. women, they look at Facebook and go, oh, I don't have the most perfect family, so like Eve, you're deceived. And then you lose your paradise and you look back and say, dang it, I had paradise, but I messed it up because I wanted more. So a lot of people get uncomfortable, and it's good to be uncomfortable, but it's not wise to make stupid decisions that can slingshot back and be a consequence that's not good.
Isn't that the truth? What would you tell people that's got this inferiority complex? I'm not. I wouldn't be good at that, or I couldn't do it like that person does it, or along those lines. What would you tell somebody?
Well, you can't keep comparing yourself to other people, and you have to look deep inside and find something that you do and do well. And I say exploit it and give it back. If you're feeling crappy about you, you know what you can do? Go to a nursing home. Go to a nursing home. Sit around and talk to a resident. Don't get out of that pity pit. Pity parties are not fun because only one person is the guest, and that's you.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to come to your pity party. And so do something for somebody else. Make cookies and go see a shut-in. Sit and just do something for somebody else. I had a good friend this just a couple of weeks ago that lost her son to suicide, 19 years old. And he had self-medicated and he went into a psychosis, they think. I couldn't get it off my mind, George. I could not. Thanksgiving and Christmas. And right next door to this building where I am is my good friend jeweler. And I thought, I got to do something. So I had a plaque made with handles. It's really a tray. And I had all these words that were burned in the board with a cross. And it was a paper that this young man had written in college to her. Well, wouldn't you know, it arrived Christmas Eve. And all of a sudden, that adversity turned into an opportunity because she is that kind of person. And now she's got a Facebook page and we're all writing about one of those words. Mine's gratitude. We are journaling it and sending it to my friend Laura, and she's going to put it in an ebook. You see how she's grieving? Adversity has become a friend for her because she's externalizing it and helping other people. I've had so many friends like this. A friend who lost her son who had anorexia. She wrote a beautiful book called Dying to Be Perfect. And she's helped so many people not have eating disorders and so many young men. So make a mess in your life a message. That's huge to do that. If you can think like that, you can be such an asset in so many people's lives that you would never know.
What about what about people that says, and I guess this is part of woe is me. I could never do that. That's kind of a lame excuse, isn't it?
Well, they're correct. They are totally correct. If they think that, they won't. Yeah. I tell a funny story about a young man in our Sunday school class, and he was in boot camp at 17, and he said, I'm going to flunk out. I'm going to fail. I'm going to disgrace the family. And he got on his knees and he prayed, and he opened his eyes and he saw his dog tags. He thought it was a message from God. It said, be positive on his dog tags. So he changed, and all of his buddies noticed it. And they said, what happened? He said, God sent me a message. He sent me a miracle sign. They said, what you talking about? He said, look at my dog tags. Be positive. And the guy said, you want to see my message from God? Oh, negative. So, he didn't know it was at all. It was, his blood type, didn't know. So Zig Ziglar also said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
That's true.
You are so right.
Oh, yes. And we have heard it in our lifetime. I've heard it countless times. The person that fails to try fails, but the person that tries don't fail. He just finds another way to do what he was going to do in the first place. The first thing didn't work. So, if we say, well, I'm afraid to do that because I might fail. You already failed, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you keep saying that, you're paralyzed. You're done. Stick it with a fork. That gets me so mad. I can't stand all that. I say, listen, I'm going to talk to the hand. I can't, I mean, either you do it or you don't. And, I mean, people move on to something else. I mean, I'll help somebody and I want them to be better. And you pour all this out. But, the Bible says you dust the sand off your sandals and see you later, alligator. I am not going to stay around and be on that sad journey.
That's exactly
It's an
right.
energy vampire, sucks the blood and sucks the energy out of you. No, thank you.
I thought I was one of the few that got upset when I heard people talking like that. We were talking this afternoon.
Oh, I can't.
No, go ahead.
No, I agree.
We were talking this afternoon, and it came upon through my little brain housing group up here. God made us in His likeness, in His image, and I said,
Mhm.
do any of us understand? I mean, the potential. I mean, the real potential that is instilled, built in for us to do great things. Because
I don't think we do.
no,
I don't think we really understand what our potentials are.
and do you agree? We live far below our potentials because we don't know what they really are.
Well, I mean, you look at stories of, I know you've read the same thing about women whose children might be trapped somewhere and they have superhuman strength all of a sudden, and they actually did that. I mean, I've been in situations where something traumatic, or I think a lot of us suffer from PTSD. I do, and we just don't know it, and something triggers it. But we have all of a sudden can't believe that we handled it like that, or it's like God's Novocaine for the moment. We just can't believe it, but we have no idea what our potential is. None.
Great things. Uh, my prayer is, and I'm 71 now, so like you said earlier, none of us knows when our expiration date is. I like that expiration date. Uh, it makes real sense. But
Hmm.
my prayer is, Lord, stir me up inside to a point that nothing can stop me. No
Hmm.
negativity, no naysayers, no doubters, no nothings. Just stir me up, light a fire in me that will just excel and push and propel me forward in such a way that somebody look at him and say, Espenlaub is just going completely berserk. I mean, he just took a long walk off a short pier. That's my prayer, Jane, that regardless
That's a
of the
good one, George.
obstacle,
That's a really good one.
when I go out, whenever it is, when my expiration date comes up, I want to go out uh, with a flame. I mean, when they see me
Hmm.
go, they'll be like a jet airplane, just uh, yep, there he went. But I went out the way that I wanted to go out because I wanted God to really, you know, put the rocket fuel in me so I can go through the stratosphere and all the other things. Uh, if we could just tap into that, the great things that could be done. My oh my.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite groups to speak for are hospital volunteers. I mean, I spoke at a national conference in Kentucky last year, and I'm speaking to another group coming up, and gosh, I've been all over Florida. And those are the most genuine, loving, giving, caring, and they don't put on. They are just totally themselves. And I love that about that crowd, because they've seen it. They see the weeping, they've seen the joy, they've seen the stress, and they have been there, done that. A lot of them are retired, and they're still giving back to their community, and they love it, and it makes them healthy mentally. I call it mental wealth.
Mm-hmm.
We should all strive to be mentally wealthy. If there's something in us that needs fixing, Lord, please show it to me because I want to get it fixed.
That's right.
And I think that's the journey of life. Fix your flaws.
I was I was talking to someone not too long ago, and I said, this thing called life. If it and on my coffee cup it says I'm not old. I'm chronologically gifted. So I'm chronologically gifted to be here tonight. But I said to this individual, just about the time that you start to figure a few things out, you step out.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have got a little bit of this, whatever it is, when we were a whole lot younger? But that don't negate the fact that I still want that fire. What's gone is gone. I'm looking forward. So, but I just told that gentleman when we was talking about just about time we think we get it right, we got to step out. We got to leave. The people, and you speak to all kind of groups. You speak to organizations, business people, and you're quite busy, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, today with another speaker, and we were just talking about how noisy it is to pinpoint the audiences that we know we're going to have a super great experience with. And that's the challenge now, because there's, it used to be you market, you produce, and you perform. But marketing has become subtitle, more subtitle, third subtitle, whether it's social media, whether it's snail mail, whether it's call, whether it's eye contact that I use. People can sign up for my humor newsletter too. If you go to my website, you'll see it all over the website. I like to send something funny out about, or inspirational, mostly funny, about every other week. And so I've got a pretty good mailing list, people that want to be on the mailing list. I don't send it out unsolicited at all. And so these are intentional folks. And so that's been fun, but it's a challenge. I mean, to find those folks that that you can make the meeting planner happy, make the folks happy. And so, but I speak all over and I have fun with it. I had a pretty good year last year. I'm accruing speaking engagements now, which is good. Got a good call yesterday, got another one today. So it's starting to work, but you get a little anxious sometimes, but it's not about money or anything, George. I'm telling you, it's about, I just have a desire in my heart, and maybe it's because I was a social work major. I just want to see people be mentally wealthy. I mentioned that term before, and laugh more. Humor's been under us. There's so many comedians that are scared to death because it's all, they get hammered, and a lot of them don't go on college campuses anymore, this PC culture. But my stuff is clean. And even being clean, I've got some funny stories. I was speaking up in Minnesota a couple of years ago, and I thought it was a pretty funny story. Oh my gosh, 2 women. It was funny because I was talking about sitting in the choir, and I about am the choir. And my friend Deborah's a teacher, and she retired. And I asked her, I said, are you substitute teaching? And she said, oh yeah. Sunday school class. I mean, in my little first grade class, I went there and I said, boys and girls, I'm your substitute teacher. And one of the little kids ran to the reading lab and said, guess what? Our real teacher's sick today, but we got a prostitute teacher. Well, that was funny. But you get people that get weird, and I'm going, really? Just, to be honest, I heard Ricky Gervais on the Emmys the other night, and he just said, I don't care. I'm going to say what I want to say. And he just let it go.
Yeah.
It was refreshing, to be honest.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what's so funny, George? This is interesting. What do you think the number one show that young people watch on Netflix is? Netflix. What do you think it is?
I have no clue.
The Office. Office.
Really?
The most politically incorrect show. Why? because they can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So they laugh at Michael Scott, the crazy boss, you know. Of course, it's coming off Netflix, but that is the number one thing that my children watch it and scream and reference it all the time. Mommy, remember the episode, blah, blah, blah. So that tells you something.
Sure it does. Sure it does. We're too thin-skinned, and too many people have been programmed to think what other people want them to think instead of thinking for themselves. And it's
True.
It's just so sad. Let me put these books back up here again real quick. There, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, Romans, and countrymen, are the books. And there is Jane's website. And let me put this up here. Take this down. And as she said earlier, you can get it most anywhere. Walmart and all them good places, and Amazon and all those good places. And you can get it, what the ticker's saying down there on the bottom. You can get it right there. So
the Rhinestone and the Pearls book more so through places like Audible, Rhinestones particularly you can get from all over, from anywhere, and you can order from. Of course, everything's on Amazon. You know, Amazon is the place, I guess, to say. Brick and mortar stores don't know what to do with it, so until something's figured out, Amazon is a good resource.
Jane, but we had lots of time tonight.
Yeah, George, I'm so sorry about the beginning. Golly, I thought my computer was like, but nope, it went like that. But here we are.
No. Listen, I've always said, and on the radio, I've said it a million times, because we were. This is what happens, you know, when we're on the radio. You're live.
Is that my friend Nancy? Wait a minute. Let me see something. Hey, oh, Nancy, you're sweet. Thank you. Golly.
That's my bride of 51 years.
Look at that. 51.
Yes.
I'm looking now. Oh, thank you, Nancy. Blowing you a kiss, girl.
I always told her, if you ever leave me, I'm going with you. So we settled down a long time ago.
Yeah, I got me a good one too. I got me a real good one. We met on a Saturday night, didn't see him all week, and he asked me to marry him the next week, and I said yes. So I got me a good one almost 40 years ago.
All righty. That's longevity. It works. It really works.
Yes. And I got a great son, Holmes. He's and that's, I think, for all those mothers out there, your children are on their timeline, not yours. So be patient and pray for him. I've got a son, and he's working home great, and I'm proud of him. But it took a little bit to get those wheels turning. So just want to throw that out there, not leave out my son.
Yes, some engines start slower than other engines. But once the engine gets started.
Yeah, we got one of them.
Yeah. So
buckle your seatbelt.
Yeah, once they get started, they really go. They go full tilt. Wow.
Yeah. I had a professor tell me that one time, and I appreciated that. He said left lobe, right lobe, 21, 22, 23, 24. I said, hurry up, 25.
Hope it all falls into place and comes together.
Yeah.
I found it, and that, honest, I'm not making fun. I'm not being disrespectful, but when things like this happen, like that happened to us in the beginning, my bubble isn't always in the center, according to most folks, and probably according to myself. But when things like this happen, I start laughing from the beginning, because I think of Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. We've been on the radio and live, and all of a sudden something goes all wrong and crooked. And we're on this end saying, what happened? And I could just picture the people on the other end saying, where'd they go? So I've, I, I've learned to take it as a grain of salt, uh, because it's all part of on Fox News the other night. They was interviewing somebody and they went away. They was interviewing by way of video, and they went away. And even the top-notch producers out there have problems too. So, Jane, you were a soldier. You stayed with it. You kept at it, and we made it, and we did it. And listen, it's been a delightful show. I've had a lot of fun. I really
Thank you,
have.
George. It's been so fun, and thank you for you were so calm, and I was going, oh Lord help me. But I figured out when you said go on your phone, I said that's what we need to do. So thank you for your calm countenance. Help me. And I got in this office at probably 7:00, and I had to drive from Greenville, which is a couple of hours. And I was just praying to get here with no deer jumping in front of the car. It's very woodsy. And I got here in such good time. And I checked everything, did my hair and makeup, got my chat light. And I'm going, no, don't tell me that. Well, you know what? Maybe it's just sweeter that we all went through it. And we lived our message in the first couple minutes, didn't we? We lived our message.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. You
Yes.
You have been a delightful guest, and I want you to come back in the future.
Oh, yeah. And maybe I'll get a new computer.
All right. All right.
We'll have to do a trial run.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we do a trial run the next time before we go live.
That's right.
But it was entertaining. We were entertaining to people. I'm sure we were. And
oh, I know.
And we can laugh at ourselves and we can laugh at the situation now. But I thank you for your graciousness, taking time out of your busy schedule. Jane?
Well, it's been a joy, too.
It's been a lot of fun. It's really been a lot of fun. I think we're going to get a tremendous amount of response from this because once we go off the air, it stays up on YouTube. It'll stay up on our the George Espenlaub Show page on Facebook, and people just come. So people start your watch parties and share it, put it out there, and all those things that you do. Throw it out there in the cybersphere, however you say it. Throw it out there in space, and let's see what we can really do with it. Thank you so very, very much, Jane. Let's stay in contact.
Well, thank you, George.
Thank you, man.
God bless.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a tremendous show we had tonight. So, let me remind you that on Monday night, and Jane, by the way, will run the audio portion of this up on the radio show. So the people that aren't able to watch the videos, they can hear it on the radio. So it's on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all those other good places.
That's great, George. You're doing good, honey.
But on Monday night, we are going to have Ivor Davis with us. This man was and is, he's retired now, but he was an international reporter from England. He was at the crime scene on August 9th.
Oh, my.
Yes, he was there. And he reported on it all through the Manson trials. He saw the devastation. He saw the butchery. He saw all the things that took place, and he followed that. He's written several books, other books. This is the one that he has just written, and it's on the bestseller list already. Manson Exposed, a reporter's 50-year journey into madness and murder. His life was threatened. He covered the truth. He traveled with the Beatles for a while. He was their own reporter man. He's written a book.
Wow.
So Ivor is going to be with us Monday night at 8 p.m. And he's going to talk. Many people have no idea what happened back in August of 1969. It was some bad times back then, wasn't it, Jane? It was some bad.
Oh my goodness, I remember well Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well,
And
who was she? Was married to Roman Polanski? Is that right?
Polanski.
That was horrid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I was awful.
he will be talking about a lot of the actors and actresses that were to be at that house that night that for some reason or another
Wow.
wasn't there. Steve McQueen, several others. But
Oh my gosh.
it's going to be an interesting show. So Monday night we'll have Ivor
Yeah.
with us, and wow, it ought to put us all on the edge of our seat. So with that,
Wow. I'm gonna listen to that. That's good.
with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, good night, Jane,
Good night.
and friends, Romans, and countrymen. Thank you for spending time with us, and I will see you later. My prayer is that God will keep you right in the center of His hand. Good night, everybody. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the audio portion of our live stream on Friday night. Unfortunately, over the weekend, we received word that Ivor Davis, the international reporter who covered the Manson murders and the trial, was hospitalized, and he was not able to be with us on Monday night. We have a tentative date. I talked with his agent just today, and we have a tentative date, which is a very short time away. So we will keep you posted on that. Remember, tomorrow I will be doing a live stream on our guests that will be on the radio show with us. A man by the name of Chris Bird. I lost my thought there for a while. Usually it's my mind, but nonetheless, I lost my thought. Chris Bird. We will be doing a live stream tomorrow and getting you up to speed of who he is and what he does. Very, very interesting. And I think that each and every one of you will be interested in the show on Friday night here on Spreaker.com. We'll be doing the live stream show tomorrow, and we'll be promoting and sharing with you some articles, some pictures, some things about Chris Bird so you can be familiar with it, and then you can tune in with us on Friday night. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, please don't go away, because immediately after our show, and a couple little tidbits in between, we will be airing for the first time the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. And I hope that you'll stay with us. But when you hear this sound right here, we'll pull it down just a tidbit. When you hear that sound, it's time for us to get out of here. Charlie and I will beat feet out of here like we do. But nonetheless, I thank you for tuning in to the George Espenlaub Show tonight, live from the Funny Farm in a place called Our World. We're delighted that you took the time to listen, and I trust that you will stay with us for the Daren Streblow Comedy Show coming up right after us. So don't go away. There is more. I trust that you've had a good week thus far. This is the famous hump day. In fact, it's 9:36 p.m. Eastern time, and we are over the hump, getting ready to move into Thursday, and then there's only one more day. It will be on Friday, and then the weekend comes. We got a lot of great things planned for you here on the George Espenlaub Show. We are working diligently. We need your help. Put it out there. Please spread the word. Download the episodes. Get it out to whomever you can get it out to. Email me at georgece@comcast.net. And like I always say, I will personally answer each and every email just as I have always been doing over the years. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to those that are down the street, around the corner, across America, and around this great big world, I give you a great big salute for joining us tonight, and hopefully you'll stay with us for the next show. If it's nighttime where you're at, I trust you'll have a good night. If it's already daytime, I hope you have a great day. But regardless of what time it is and where you're at, for me and the whole gang here at the Funny Farm behind this production, I want to tell you that I appreciate your support, your kind words, and all those things that you do for us. Now remember, give somebody a big hug. Tell them that you love them. Smile at them. Give them a good firm handshake, because you never know what someone else is going through. So be kind one to another. Love one another. Until next time, from me to you, thank you for tuning in. My prayer is that God will keep you right in the center of his hand. And so until then, God bless you, and good night, everybody.
The Swinging 60s.
The Swinging 60s.
The Swinging 60s. The Swinging 60s. The Swinging 60s Show with Harry Burt on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is Harry over here in Ireland. Welcome you to the Swinging 60s Show. Sunday evenings, 2000 hours GMT. I will play Beatles, Kinks, Beach Boys, Carpenters, Elvery Brothers, lots of classic oldies. We have quizzes. We have all things going on here. So Google the Swinging 60s Show. Be heard. Come into the chat room.
Streblow's Comedy Show.
Live on the radio.
It's Daren Streblow's Comedy Show.
Live on the radio.
Bringing you the funny from every nook and cranny. Sprinkling some crazy. The man, the myth, the legendary champion of something. It's Daren Streblow's Comedy Show.
Live on the radio.
It's Daren Streblow's Comedy Show.
Live on the radio.
So lock dial on this comedy file. Daren's your host from coast to coast. He's hilarious. The Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
Yeah.
Welcome back, my friend, to the collision of comedy and the soul. Hey, it's me, it's Daren. Happy New Year to you. I hope you had a great New Year's celebration. Ours involved food, so it was great. It was great. I tried smoking a turkey. A little too long. Turkey jerky, I think, was the word to describe it, but it was fine. It was okay. It had a lot of flavor. It just had a lot of flavor for a really long time. Yeah. You savored that flavor for 20, 30 minutes, you know. Like a jawbreaker. A smoked turkey jawbreaker. Anyway, here's Robert G. Lee.
When you have kids, you think you're going to change them and nurture them into something different. Good luck with that one. Because kids come out who they are. You can mold a little bit, but that's who they are. They are not changing one iota. It's like you are just there looking at the science experiment that will go wrong at some point. I figure it's like every single Boris Karloff monster movie where at some point you look at the wake of destruction left behind your creation and you go, what have I done? Everybody has different personalities. We got a dog and a cat. That's who they are. The cat came out first, intelligent, aloof, and just Now she's a writer, she's an entrepreneur, very intelligent, but at the beginning it was ADD to the 10th power. It was like a laser focus that was never plugged in. It was just Now when she shows up, but growing up, Our son is the dog. He's just this, oh, I love you. You're my parents. I will never disobey. I will always obey. If I do anything wrong, I will punish myself. Bad me. Bad dog. Bad dog. Bad dog. Where's the cat? Can I get the cat? I will get the cat. Where's the cat? I don't think I really understood God until I became a parent. And it's like, oh, you give something life, you sacrifice for it, and then they blame you for all their problems. Got it. Okay, yes. I understand now. Thank you for that gift. I appreciate that. Now, I mean, I want my kids to share my faith, but it's difficult. It's difficult for the cat. It is, because she's fiercely intelligent and just so smart. And it's hard, but not so much for the dog. We will be in heaven together. We'll play fetch for all of eternity. I love you. We are going to be together. But for the cat, I mean, and the irony is we cursed her. We did, because her name is Kristen, spelled Christ in. And it's like, we run away from that one. But our son Beelzebub totally believes in Jesus. I was like, wow. You got to do the opposite. All right. I'm trying to accept getting older. I think all of us, at some point, you're either in denial or you accept it. And for me, I kind of hoped when I got older, I would, be distinguished, and like Cary Grant, it's like, and I look like a movie star, but I'm closer to Walter Matthau now is the problem. I've got the jowls of a prehistoric basset hound. The bags under my eyes look like I came from a sale at Macy's. It's like, I can't go down the cookie aisle without gaining weight, because I sample, but that's still. My wife and I have to downsize. It's a law. You have to do that. So, empty nest, and we downsized. And so we found, it's like we had to purge everything, because we had a really big house, and then we moved to a treehouse townhouse. I love it. And, after months of purging and packing, it's like, and it was so exhausting. You know how hard it is on sales and estate sales and everything else. I walked by a homeless guy at a park bench with all his possessions in a grocery cart, and I felt envy. It's like, oh, if only. And our treehouse townhouse has so many advantages over our old place, like no parking, no room, and our HOA is run by the mob. It is. Oh, it is. The rules are, if you do not bring your trash can in by 5 o'clock, they break a finger. That's first offense, yeah. Second offense, break a leg. Third offense, they kill you, stuff you in the trash can, and you still have to have it in by 5. So that's what it's like. The worst rule was about my dog. I said we had a dog, and the rules said you could not have a dog over 45 pounds. And we had a golden retriever. I mean, he was just, and so we hated to do it. We had to shave him and say he was a chubby chihuahua with a thyroid condition.
Great crowd, glad to be here. I have to tell you, my full name is actually Velva K. Dodd. That's how I feel about it. You can tell my dad wore expensive cologne with a name like Velva. People over 50 love me. For those of you under 50, Aqua Velva is an aftershave that you can buy at a convenience store. So, I've just always been grateful that my dad named me because my mom was partial to cheese. They could have just introduced Velveeta K. I love what I do. I just got back from South Georgia doing a gig there. They did a great job advertising everything here. There, they just wrote my name on a whiteboard. It was nice. It was like I was some blue plate special or something. It's like, next week we got K. Dodd and some peach cobbler. So... My mama's so proud. I talked to her a little while ago. She was like, when I told her about that show, she's like, well, we waited your entire career to see your name in Expo Marker. So, you've arrived. So, she would love to be here tonight, but bless her, she's in a nursing home now. Don't judge me. She lived with me for a year. One of us was going to the home. No, she loves it there. She has a community, and she went in there thinking bingo was a sin, and she's been there 3 years now. It's a religion. And, she plays bingo 3 times a week. She only goes to church once. But we had to just kind of force her to play because she really did. She thought, she's like, no, that's a sin. I'm not going to play. And so she was coming out of the dining room one morning. That's where they play. They do everything in that same room. And the lady said, oh, now, Faye, if you could stay and help us, help some of these people that their minds are not as good as yours. And she's like, oh. Now she had a ministry. So she started, but now she doesn't want to miss it. We took her out for lunch for her birthday recently to her favorite restaurant. We were literally across the street, and it's an hour before she needs to be back for Bingo Mania. She's like, I got to get over there. And I'm like, Mom, you're fine. And she's like, I got to get a good seat. I'm like, you're in a wheelchair. You have a good seat.
The outstanding K. Dodd on the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. And before that, brand new comedy from Robert G. Lee. Coming up in the program, Rex Havens is going to get scolded by his mother. Tim Hawkins has a couple of great songs for you. Ken Davis is going to get in a car accident. Jeff Jenna is not going to believe his grandpa's stories. Celeste Scott Wood, Cleto Rodriguez, and Carlos Oscar right here on the Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
Bible skeptics enjoy challenging Bible believers with such questions as, how is there enough room on the ark to fit a pair of all the animals, including dinosaurs? We'll tackle that question on today's Creation Moment. And now our Creation Moments host, Paul Taylor.
Noah saved a pair of every kind of unclean creature and 7 pairs of every kind of clean creature on the ark. Generally speaking, the classification of kind is broader than today's species. Creationists believe that today's species developed from those creatures, staying within the kind. For example, while there are many species of fruit flies, they are all of the same kind. But how could all the species we know today have developed so quickly? In 1978, a few European fruit flies were accidentally introduced to Chile. They have now spread their population over much of North America's west coast. In that short time, they differentiated within their kind. For example, those found in more northern latitudes have the longer wingspans, while those in the more southerly latitudes have shorter wingspans. Tests have shown that these differences are due to differences in genetic makeup. Amazingly, the same pattern of longer wingspans in more northerly fruit flies is very much like the pattern observed in European fruit flies. Even more astonishing is the fact that the American fruit flies achieve the longer and short wingspans through the lengthening of a different part of the wing than their European cousins. That these differences down to the genetic level have developed in a mere quarter of a century illustrates how, in the last few thousand years since the flood, the various species we know today could have easily developed from their basic kinds.
Creation Moments is a listener-supported broadcast. To find out how you can become a part of the work we are doing, visit us at creationmoments.com or call 1-800-42-BIBLE.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show. Highlight.
Here's Tim Hawkins.
Get this out of the way real quick. I always say that real quick. I'm from the Midwest. We always say that real quick. We don't want to be a burden. Real quick. Just real quick. Real quick. Can I ask you that? Real quick. You ever go into a restaurant? Can I use your restroom real quick? Just one time, I want to go to a restaurant and say, can I use your restroom for a really long time? I don't know. I got things going on in my life. I'm 42 now. I'm getting older. I mean, my kids just make fun of me constantly. Because I used to be cool. Parents, remember when we used to be cool? I used to be cool. Now all I do is walk around my house and turn off lights. That's all I do. That's my job. Turn off lights and yell at nobody. Turn them off! This door ain't gonna shut itself!
Get more laughs over at DarenStreblow.com.
Calling all gramps, grandmas, nanas, papas, or whatever your grandkids call you. Here's Ken Canfield for Grandkids Matter.
Do you know that many adults think of their grandparents as angels? That's what I've heard over and over as we look at the 5 areas where we might make resolutions for the new year. We can ask ourselves, how can we be more angelic? That might sound like a tall order, but one thing we know is that angels stand in the presence of God. So maybe a good resolution would be to just spend more time with our Heavenly Father. There are so many benefits, and I know that spiritual disciplines like this will give us strength and perspective on whatever challenges we're facing. We'll be better grandparents too. For more information and inspiration, visit grandkidsmatter.org or any of our Grandkids Matter pages on social media.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
Yeah, I've been working like a dog. You been working like a dog? Yeah! They say everybody's working like a dog. Anybody here got a dog that's a raging workaholic? Have I got the only lazy dog in America? Stuff I don't understand. Things we say I don't understand. Spitting image. Where'd that come from? Spitting image. Look at him there, Jim. He's the spitting image of him there. Anybody ever walk up to somebody and say, you know, you look a lot like Bill? You're a dead ringer. Let me ask you this. Am I the only person nervous checking into a hospital with the word memorial actually in the name? I'm seeking medical services, not memorial services. Thank you very much. I don't want to check into Boston Memorial Hospital. I want to check into Boston Recovery Hospital. Get on the airplane, you hear goofy stuff. In the event of a water landing, the seat can be used as a flotation device. Next time they do that, stand up politely and say, "Pardon me, miss, but if this thing crashes, even in the water, most of these passengers will be a flotation device." I have dibs on a fat guy in row 7. A mast in his backside and a blanket for a sail, and 8 of us will be heading for shore. Thank you very much. I know it's unkind, but I think it's what MacGyver wants me to do, so, you know. The worst was Mom. I love Mom, but everybody loves Mom, but there's something about being a mom that makes you nuts, right, moms? Say things you never thought you'd hear yourself say. My mom said the same thing your mom probably said. "Don't you be getting a big head, because you're no better than anybody else." Really? Nobody? I am not better than anybody? Have you read the paper? There's a lot of scumbags out there. But the worst was when she said, "If everybody jumped off the bridge, would you jump too?" Everybody. That's a lot of people, Mom. It's everybody we know and everybody they know. But okay, let's go with your thought, because it seems to me if everybody jumped off the bridge, eventually it wouldn't even be much of a fall. You know, 3-4 days, 8-10 million people jump. You can step off that thing. Come on. You can jump, get back on, jump again if you really want to. What the heck? Make an afternoon out of it.
I get paid $10 million a year, and I score touchdowns, 50,000 cheer, 14 concussions, but still I have no fear. I'm a jock. I do commercials for Coke and Nike shoes. And I make movies, I'm always in the news. But I have trouble reading books by Dr. Seuss. I'm a jock. I'm a jock. I'm as dumb as I can be. I'm a jock. My IQ is 23. I'm a jock. Lost on Jeopardy. I'm a jock. People love me. They say I am the best. And I'm a role model. Still, I must confess, I can't even beat my dog at chess. I'm a jock. Got a Mercedes, a Porsche, and a vet. Live in a mansion, fly a private jet. I'm hooked on phonics, I know half the alphabet. I'm a jock. Whoa, I'm a jock. People think I got it made. I'm a jock. Always drinking Gatorade. I'm a jock. But I flunked the second grade. I'm a jock.
problem. A lot of songs are just way too long. Seriously, I got ADD. I just don't have the time. I just can't control it. I think they should make they can make a lot of songs in one verse. Do them all, just the whole thing, compress it into one verse. You guys remember that Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler? Okay, y'all have radios here in California? What? What's he talking about? I can do the whole Gambler song one verse. Let me prove it to you. On a warm summer's evening, I met a man who played cards well, but he died at the table, and I won all of his money. Song. This song could have been a lot shorter. My son got mad because I worked all the time. He grew up to be a jerk, just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon and some other poetic stuff. That's all you need right there. That's about it. I think the longest song of all time is a song called The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. It was by a guy named Gordon Lightfoot, 90 verses. It was like 2 8-tracks. You know what I'm talking about. People from Modesto, you know what I'm talking about, 8 tracks. Probably still using those bad boys. That's right. But I think I can do the whole song, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, one verse. Let's do it. She went down and the people all died. Bummer.
Oh, yeah. Tim Hawkins on the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. And before that, Rex Havens. By the way, I'm going to be in Perham, Minnesota for a stand-up comedy performance. Plus, I'm going to be in Davenport, Iowa, South Bend, Indiana, Cambridge, Minnesota, Spring, Texas, Fruita, Colorado, Dayton, Minnesota, Eden, North Carolina, Tempe, Arizona. Lots of places. And you can get more information about all those places on our website, DarenStreblow.com. Or maybe you'd like to set up a stand-up comedy performance of your very own, and we can help you with that. It's easier than you think. A lot easier than a lot of performances, just because, it's a performer and a microphone, basically. Maybe some lights, maybe heat. If you're into heat. Not everyone's into heat. Anyway, we can help you with that. Just go to our website, DarenStreblow.com, for more information. Daren has one R in it, Daren, Streblow.com. Ken Davis is on deck. Stay with us.
Are we teaching our kids how to worship cell phones?
From Keys for Kids Ministries, here's Greg Yoder with a Keys for Kids Parent Minute.
I have to admit, I'm very attached to my cell phone. The other day, I accidentally left it at home while I went out and ran some errands, and I couldn't believe how many times I reached for it only to realize that it wasn't there. I was only gone for 20 minutes, but by the time I was done at one store, I decided to run home and get it. I might be addicted to it. My wife clearly pointed out that I needed to be a better example to my teen daughter who's going to be driving soon. Mom and Dad, put your cell phone on silent and put it in your glove compartment. Make your kids do it too. That'll promote healthy conversations, not mobile gamers.
Ignite a passion for Christ in your family with the Keys for Kids devotional. Receive it for free at keysforkids.org/subscribe.
Back to Genesis with Dr. John Morris, popular creation speaker with the Institute for Creation Research. Dr. Morris, is there any evidence for Atlantis?
Chris, Atlantis was the mythical city which was submerged under the ocean. People living in the city adapted and finally evolved the ability to live underwater. Of course, this myth has no basis in fact. Humans could not live underwater, even if they swam in the water for generations. Nor have archaeological remains of such a mythical city ever been found. But there may be some basis in fact. The Bible says that there was a great civilization which was totally overwhelmed by water. This was, of course, the great flood of Noah's day. I wonder if the legend of Atlantis is really a faded memory of the flood. Even more interesting is that almost every culture around the world has the legend of the flood. I think all of this goes back to Genesis for truth.
To learn more about creation, get our free DVD called That's a Fact. Call us at 800-628-7640 and mention the promo code FACT.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
Highlight. Welcome back to The Highlight from the Bananas television program. Here's Taylor Mason.
I grew up with my grandmother, God rest her soul, a little woman, as far as I can remember, about this tall. She was sweet, adorable. Her favorite TV shows, Lawrence Welk, professional wrestling, and NASCAR. That's Grandma right there. With a sense of humor, and she would do this weird thing. She would say something, and you didn't know if it was a joke or not. I'll give you an example. You know, one day she's watching racing on TV. Oh, do you know how they named NASCAR? No, Grandma, how'd they name NASCAR? Two guys looking at a race car. Ooh, NASCAR.
Get more laughs at DarenStreblow.com.
I'm Debbie with a slight curve of scoliosis made less noticeable with the surgery I had as an adult. I'm Debbie who needs to look every day in the mirror and wonder what else I can do to my hair that will change my life. I don't want to care so much. And there are times I don't, and I walk out in my pajamas to get groceries or record my radio feature at the station. Every day, I have to remember the way God sees me despite my moral failings and missteps and bad hair days. In life's journey, we all want to be known and loved, and Jesus knows us better than anyone, and He still loves us. He knows me, He knows you, your pain, and He is here waiting to make creative, redemptive use of what has happened. He's always on the move, and He isn't wasting time thinking about all the trouble He has with us or how awful we feel about where we are with ourselves in our future. God loves us unconditionally every day. For more encouragement in Everyday Matters, visit DebbieGriffith.com.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
I'm not right. I think that's the reason I'm here. When I was born, there are some wires that were put in the wrong place. My idea of a great Saturday morning is to drive my motorcycle out to the highway near our home and just sit on the edge of the highway on my motorcycle with my wife's hairdryer pointed at cars as they go by. I love the smell of burning rubber. People slam on the brakes. I just love it's a smell. Sometimes I chase those people, which really confuses them because I drive a little pink moped. See, the definition of confusion and indecision for a man is to be chased by what he thinks is a policeman driving a pink moped. A man cannot handle this kind of thing. We can't handle it. We go, what should I... Why is he on a moped? Do you think he's really a cop? Should I stop? Women have no problem with it. They go, he's on a moped, stupid, step on it. Now, I've never been right. I'm an idiot. Basically, I'm just going to level with you right up front. I am a certified idiot. I backed out of my garage the other day. Forgot the little book that I keep my stuff in. It's a daytimer. I'll admit it. I don't have the electric thing. I had the electric thing, but I cannot hang on to that little pencil. So I just have a book, and I put all my appointments in there. Forgot it. I mean, I am totally disoriented. I can't go anywhere. I'm paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know who to call to find out where to go. It's all in the book. I thought, well, maybe it's in the back seat. I thought I'd look in the back seat. So I unbuckled my seatbelt, and I bent over in the back seat. I'm digging in the back seat, looking for a daytimer. I left my car in gear. That's what idiots do. I got my head buried in the back seat. My car is moving down the street. 5, maybe 10 miles an hour. I'm not sure of the exact speed because I can't really see with that part of my body. I was digging for my daytimer. I found my daytimer. I was so excited. And then out of the corner of my eye, I saw stuff moving past the window. Now, I'm a college graduate. I drew a conclusion. My car's moving. I turned to step on the brakes. I did not get there in time. My car hit a light post less than a block from our house. You ever had your airbag go off? That's not funny. There's nothing funny. I don't know what you're laughing about. On TV, they make it look like fun because they show it in slow motion. Have you seen the ads on TV? Comes out like some kind of slow motion marshmallow. It's not like that. No, that's what it does. You don't see it coming, you don't hear it coming. All you know is that your nose hurts worse than it's ever hurt in your life. I couldn't open my eyes for 10 minutes because my glasses were embedded in my head. I finally got my eyes open, still didn't know what happened because the airbag goes away. It does. It deflates. You know, through the tears and stuff, I'm going, how come there's a hanky hanging from my steering?
He's the storytelling master, a fantastic comedian, Ken Davis, on the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. By the way, if you want to hear this program again, easy to do that. Two ways. You can go to our website, DarenStreblow.com, and listen right off the front page. Or you can get our free app for iPhone, Android. Just go to your app store, type Daren, D-A-R-E-N, and comedy. You'll find it, the free app for the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. Stand-up comedy from Scott Wood coming up. And here is Jeff Jenna.
My grandpa came to this country in the year 1910. He was an 8-year-old boy. Came to America from Italy alone. After his mother passed away, his father sent him to America to live with his uncle, who lived in Cleveland, Ohio, to learn the restaurant business. He was stuck on Ellis Island for 18 days in medical quarantine in a little tiny 7-foot by 10-foot room in a place where he knew no one, did not understand the language, and had no money as an 8-year-old boy. And all of my life, I've had to listen to that stupid story. You ever hear that stories from your grandparents? Yeah. You know, when I was your age, I had to work 15 hours every day. I made 3 cents an hour. Really, Gramps? What are you telling us? You were some kind of moron back then, apparently? 3 cents an hour? You could have sold apples on a corner and made that kind of money. We had nothing when I was a boy. Well, maybe that's because you're working for 3 cents an hour. Kind of hard to save up when you make that kind of dough, ain't it? What were you taking down after taxes? 2 cents an hour? Get out of here with that. I ain't buying it. And then he'd like fill you in on the whole story. We had no running water, no electricity. And then it could seem like you're fading on the story. So every time he would tell you the story, it would become a little more incredible. Until at some point, when you're like a teenager, young adult, you couldn't buy it anymore. You had to call him on it at some point. When he said something like, we had no, walls. That's right, we were so poor, all we had was the ceiling. And we were glad to get that. And then the other night, I'm putting my son to bed. And as I'm putting my 22-month-old son in bed, I start thinking, oh my gosh, what kind of hard luck stories do I have to tell my grandchildren 30 or 40 years from now? Because let's be honest, my friends, tonight, we got it good. Our lives are so easy, man. What kind of hard luck stories do we have to tell future generations 20, 30, 40 years from now when we're old? You know, when I was your age, at night, I would walk all the way across the living room to change the channel. That's right, young man. There was no infrared technology back then. Back then, you got off your duff and walked over there. And when you got there, there was no cable. That's right, we had 3 channels. Bing, bang, boom, sit yourself back down. That was it. The president was on back then. You were out of luck, lady. Let me tell you something else a lot of you young people don't understand. I'm only going to say it once, so pay attention. When I was your age, we didn't have these ATM machines everywhere. That's right, every bank, every restaurant. Back then, you ran out of money, you went home, you idiot. You planned your weekend on Friday.
Or you thought your mom was senile. At least 10 times a day, the woman says, "What did I just say?" Right? 8 years old, you're thinking, "Look, woman, if you don't remember, I'm not telling you." But there's that one question your parents will ask you, you never answer. Because you know they'll smack you if you do, right? Right? And they're serious. My mom looks at me, hey, do I look stupid? Yeah, my sister's in the bedroom. It's a trick question. Don't do it. Where's my eye?
Scott Wood, and before that, Jeff Jenna and Ken Davis. By the way, speaking of Ken Davis, have you heard about Vacay with the Comics? It's happening this summer. That's right, August 21st through the 23rd, right at the end of the summer. Great family vacation. You can vacation with the following comedians: Ken Davis, Bob Smiley, John Branyan, David Pendleton, Kristen Weber, and myself, Daren Streblow. We're going to be in Indiana, right in the middle of the country, at a beautiful campground with lots of different fun things to do during the day, great stand-up comedy performances at night, and it's one of those vacations that's very, very affordable, which makes it great. So check out more information at our website, DarenStreblow.com. That's Vacay with the Comics. More info at DarenStreblow.com. The hilarious Cleto Rodriguez up next.
Welcome to the I Work For Him Power Thought for the Day with Jim Brangenberg from I Work For Him, the voice of the faith and work movement.
Can any type of business impact the lives of the customers they serve? Even, let's say, an office cleaning company? Oh, sure they can. How does it happen? Is it by being a Christian that leads a company with good morals, values, and ethics? Or is there a level above and beyond that? I believe there is a level above and beyond it, and it's called being a kingdom company. So how do you become a kingdom company? A great place to start is to have a trusted Christian board of advisors where you learn and grow in business acumen and actively learn to apply your faith at work. Proverbs 11:14 says, "Without wise leadership, a nation falls." There is safety in having many advisors. Do you have advisors speaking truth into you and your business? If not, get one today.
For more about I Work For Him and our vision to transform the workplace of every Christian into a mission field, go to iworkforhim.com. That's iwork4him.com.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
Highlight. Here's Tim Hawkins.
I didn't come here to mess around, people. I'm a bad man. I don't care. I'm a loose gun. Pew. I'm just a parent. I'm just told by, there's signs you're a parent. You finish every sentence with a loud adverb. You're a parent. Like, get over here. Now! Put your brother down. Gently! Get in the car. Pronto! That's the only Spanish word a lot of moms know. Pronto! I never see Spanish-speaking moms do that. This instant.
Get more laughs at DarenStreblow.com.
I shot myself in the foot again.
From Keys for Kids Ministries, here's Greg Yoder with a Keys for Kids Parent Minute.
As a parent, I'm good at it. While most of the time I'm strategic in planning discipline, the comments that I make out of frustration do just the opposite. It can put me in a place where I'm violating Scripture, provoking my kids to anger rather than pointing them to Christ. Reacting rather than responding is often the cause. If my teenager says, "I'm going to quit school and move out of the house when I'm 18, that's when we should stop, look like we're thinking, and say, yeah, that would mean a huge savings for our food bill every month. Maybe I can help you find a job to help pay your $1,000 a month rent." Proverbs 15:1. Soft answers turn away wrath, but harsh words provoke anger.
Keys for Kids Parent Minute is supported by listeners like you. Donate online at keysforkids.org.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show.
You ever see those hardcore guys when you walk into the gym? You ever see them? They're like right there by the mirror. They're like, ah! You ever see them like, ah! I'm like, man, why are you yelling? You're only posing, you know what I'm saying? And they have like these wall-to-wall mirrors that show everything. Everything. I had fat coming out of a place I didn't even know I had. And I didn't know that they had their own fitness lingo in the gym, because I'd never been to a gym before. And some guy came up to me and he goes, "Hey, little man, can you spot me?" Brother, I'm broke. I have no money. I'm on the free week plan. I'm on a pass. I'm out here on Friday. And he ever worked out so hard he started breathing funny? Some lady's all, "Shamu, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, stop throwing water on me." Oh, man. My wife, she tells me all the time, she goes, my wife's real slim, and she goes to the gym all the time, and she tells me, "Go join water aerobics, it's fun. Go join water aerobics, it's fun." I joined water aerobics. I was the only man in water aerobics. They had some women there, some very mature women. I think the youngest was like 92. There was so many old women in this class, I thought they were filming Cocoon 3. I'm like, man, what's going on here? I thought it was a scuba diving class, to be honest with you, with all the oxygen tanks around the pool. I mean, they had a scuba diver there. Someone had to go get the teeth that fell in the water. Bless their hearts, they're playing Marco Polo to the smell of Ben Gay. Marco, there you are. I'll never forget, I was on the treadmill dying, and Bertha, she came up to me and she goes, "Mr. Rodriguez, after this workout, you're gonna keep hearing that one little word in your head, skinny." Let me show you my response. Are you crazy? The only word I'm gonna hear after this workout is clear. Clear. Because I'm dying, that's why. Oh my gosh. And it's so funny because they always try to get you to sign up, you know, for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? They give you, they expect you to have $3,000 and a firstborn the next day to pay for it, you know? And I was like hiding from the trainers, and I went to go hide in this one aerobics class, a regular aerobics class, and they were standing there, so I blended in. And they were asking them, the instructor said, "What did you have for lunch?" And they asked this skinny girl who looked like this. "What did you have for lunch?" She said, "I had one slice of pizza." They made her run 5 miles. You're starting to feel my pain. Guess who they're asking next? I've never been so scared to answer a question in my life. "What did you have for lunch?" "I had half a grape and I'm full." I'm running 5 miles for anybody, I'm sorry. Try to get my aunt on this diet thing too, because my aunt's a pretty big woman. Give you an idea how big she is. We took her to see the movie Jurassic Park when it came out. Her stomach started growling, scared everybody in the theater. I'm sitting, we're eating our popcorn, all of a sudden we're still eating, all of a sudden. People in the front row started passing food back to us. "Give it to them, give it to them." She's signing autographs afterwards. T. Rex Rodriguez.
My mother-in-law with the cook. She has to cook every morning. Oh, you love this. My mother, God bless her. But she cooks the same thing every day for breakfast. The Mexican sausage with chorizo. Oh, chorizo, it's good, but you can't eat it every day. That's like lard, like grease. You eat that every day? Every day I'm eating this stuff. I'm going to go to the doctor. Hey, you're pork positive. What do you mean pork positive? What is that? I got pork positive blood? What's wrong with you? And my mother-in-law is another thing. My mother-in-law is what they call a technophobe. She hates new technology. I could put it on the computer. She doesn't understand. I'm a good son-in-law. I'm trying to teach her the computer. We have, a lot of people have computer. I have AOL right now, and I put her on it, and I'm trying to teach her the computer. She's putting the mouse on the ear. I go, put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. She gets, her brother emailed her, and she goes, I don't understand how this works. I go, let me put the volume up. How simple is that? It tells you, doesn't it? What does it say? You've got mail. You've got mail. How simple can it get? She went to the front to check. What is that? Now, this happened about 6 months ago. My wife lost her cell phone. She gets a new one. She calls her mom. Listen to this. This really happened, okay? She calls, my mother-in-law. She calls her mom and says, hey, Mom, yeah, I got a new cell phone. Yeah, it's really nice. It even has a camera. And I heard her, no, it doesn't. And my wife said, yeah, it has a camera. I go, give me that. I go, yes, it's me. Let me tell you, it does have a camera. We're not lying to you. She goes, really? Then what am I doing? What am I doing? Like I could see her at home. Like, I don't know what you're doing. She goes, liar, and hung up. What is this? Can't take it. She blames me for everything, too. Gets me in trouble, too. I got in trouble because of her. We went on one of these family trips to visit some family in Texas. Oh, it's hot in Texas. We're driving. And I got a ticket because of her, okay? No, listen. She's always talking to me because she's afraid I'm going to go to sleep or something, right? So it was 75 miles an hour. And then she goes, and I turn, I go, what? And it went to 65. So I never saw the sign. So I get a ticket. Oh, and you get nervous when you get a ticket. Don't start. Right? As soon as I woo, if you're going home tonight and you're speeding, if you pass a security card, but you don't know, you're, right? And then you notice, security, big deal, security, right? And they know too. So we're in Texas, and they're called troopers. Anybody here from Texas? Clap, any Texas people? Okay. They're called troopers. They don't mess around, the troopers. Don't mess with Texas, as they say. These troopers, they come, oh my goodness, man. And I got pulled out. I'm already nervous, and my mother, you were going too fast. Could you calm down? No, it was just for you. You were going too fast. I'm going, calm down. Both the cops come out with everything, the whole thing, with the hat, everything going on, and the tobacco. And the partner wouldn't even talk to me. Skinny, the gun weighed more than him. He would just whistle. I lower the window. This guy put his head in the car with the hat and everything. And the other one, what? You got a license, sir? You got a license? Mm-hmm. And my mother-in-law, question him, officer, question him. What, question him? Question him. You got a license, sir? Mm-hmm. Got one of those? So, yeah, I got a license. So it's my wife's Suburban, so I popped the thing. I don't know how this works. And my wallet flew out of the console like this, like in slow motion. And it fell right by my feet. So I didn't know how this was going to look. I'm trying to pick up the wallet. They freaked out. Both cops. And the other one. And my mother-in-law yelling, he might be going for a weapon. He might be going for a weapon. He might be going for, what's wrong with you? You never know. Anything's possible. Mm-hmm. And he's like this. And that's how we do in Texas. He's pointing to a vial of pepper spray. We're all Latinos in the car. We eat peppers. What's that gonna do to us? What? You gonna spray us? Oh, that's good. That's good. You got guacamole for backup? I don't know what.
Carlos Oscar on the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. Thanks to Carlos for being on the program this week. And I'd like to thank the other comedians you heard this week as well. Robert G. Lee, K. Dodd, Rex Havens, Tim Hawkins, Ken Davis, Jeff Jenna, Scott Wood, and Cleto Rodriguez. That is going to do it for this week. We hope to see you again next week. Laughter is like a medicine. So join us every week for another big dose of comedy right here on the Daren Streblow Comedy Show. We'll see you next week.
The Daren Streblow Comedy Show. Executive producer Daren Streblow. A Streblow Comedy Inc. production.
I'm sitting here eating our popcorn. Also, we're... People in the front row started passing food back to us. Give it to them. Give it to them.
Back to Genesis with Dr. John Morris, scientist with the Institute for Creation Research. Dr. Morris, evolutionists say that because our blood is similar to seawater, this proves the evolution of life in the ocean. Is this true?
Chris, it is true that evolution says that life evolved in the sea, but human blood is very different from seawater. Now, many of the same elements are in both, but the concentrations and compounds are very, very different. God used the building blocks he had created on day one to form all things. Human blood has unbearably complex molecules locked into complex combinations that are very different from anything ever found in seawater. In fact, seawater would break down the compounds that we have in our blood. Chris, we can be confident that man did not come from the sea. Man was created by the Creator, who also created the sea. We read all about it when we go back to Genesis.
To learn more about creation, get our free DVD called That's a Fact. Call us at 800-628-7640 and mention the promo code FACT.
Grandparenting isn't for the faint-hearted. More from Dr. Ken Canfield.
This is day 4 of our week-long look at possible New Year's resolutions for grandparents, taken from my book, The Heart of Grandparenting, using HEART as an acronym. Today, the R is for reconciliation. Being a reconciler is part of the picture for many grandparents, and often the main challenge is with the middle generation, your grandkids' parents. So maybe a good goal for you this year would be to be your kids' biggest fans. As parents, they probably need your support and encouragement, and your efforts will bless your grandkids as well. This is an idea I explore more fully in my book, The Heart of Grandparenting, which is available on our website at grandkidsmatter.org/heart. You can also look us up on Facebook and Pinterest.
I saw a cartoon once where 3 women were round a table praying, and the caption said, "It's not gossip if your eyes are closed." Well, I laughed because it's funny, but it also made me think how I use my mouth. It's important that what we share in prayer is either done with permission or an understanding. If the person we're praying for was sitting next to us, would we still feel comfortable? But sometimes we may have concerns that we share about someone because we need advice and prayer. Nevertheless, it's important that what we share is done in a general sort of way with no specific details. Regrettably, there have been times where I've said too much. So I go to God and go to the person sometimes that you've gossiped about. Ask forgiveness and be willing to let the Holy Spirit guide you. Psalm 141, "Set a guard, O Lord, before my mouth. Cover others in love with your words that build up and don't tear down every day." For more encouragement in everyday matters, visit DebbieGriffith.com.